intuitive and psychic stuff and energetic. And when we weren't together, we would we would go meet in the middle energetically, and then we'd talk about it the next day and say, well, yeah, and sometimes it worked. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's very cool. Well, let's talk about sex.
Okay.
You, if that's okay.
Sure.
A lot of your material, a lot of your stuff is. I mean, you've got some pretty powerful. I think there's a DVD you've got, which is I can't remember the name. You have to excuse me on that, but it's like erotic touch or orgasm DVD. I think it is. Is that right?
Yeah, it's called the Big O.
The Big O. The Big O. Thank you. I mean, where did that the Big O? Where did that come around? I mean, how did you get to do that? Where did that all come from?
It actually was an idea I had. I was sitting and recording some stuff with a guy named David, and we were doing kind of a double voice thing. And then after we were done recording, he was playing around with some stuff in the back of my hand, and we were kind of inventing this idea of these sliding anchors on the back of your hand. And then I thought, well, what if everything that, like, this was for a woman to feel orgasmic by just touching the back of her hand. The things that you crave and desire, and the things that give you satisfaction, and the things that make you really happy. I want to put one of those on each of these fingers, and then I want it to increase. So as I slide my hand, it's going to increase and increase and increase. Well, one of them is the best meal you've had, the thing that you love to eat, like the food that you just love having it in your mouth, the taste, the texture, everything else. And we do one of those and increase it. And then we would talk about a time when someone surprised you, when they did something really special. And then we'd increase that feeling of being surprised. And just several different erotic things. And one of them was the best sex you've ever had. Well, then I did this thing where all of those come together all at the same time. And then I do that, and we do that again. Well, I did this in San Francisco. I did it as a workshop for about 80 people, and they were in pairs and doing that and having a lot of fun. And then I did it for a show on Showtime with Jill, and that's where part of the video came from, was the footage with Jill, because she was having orgasm after orgasm from just touching the back of her hand. And interestingly enough, a year later, she came to work for me, because we didn't know each other before then. She came to work for me, and she did customer service, and every now and then I'd walk over to her desk and say, well, hi, Jill, how you doing? And we were like, wow, no, stop.
Do you think the touch is what made that happen, or the verbal? I mean, or is it both? Is it the anchoring of both the verbal and the touch, or could you do it just verbally?
Oh, you could. I think having an anchor is nice, but you could do it verbally, that there's just a word or a phrase that's the anchor. As many senses as we can get involved in it, the better, which is kind of the purpose of having this thing on every finger. But I'm sure you've seen videos where they've done a hypnotic orgasm, and it's nothing but words, and it's just telling them what to feel.
Actually, I personally, I haven't seen that, so I was really fascinated by that DVD. I'd kind of heard about that, but I'd never seen anything about it. So that when I was on your site browsing around, buying a few things, I was like, oh, that's an interesting DVD,
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. And then you have to think, okay, we were just talking about how much influence our thought has on other people's cells, on their experience, their emotions, on the plants. Like, this ties into this. The guy that does the experiment on the plants, Cleve Baxter, I think is his name, when he would be away from his plant, he left this lie detector thing with the needle moving. He left it hooked up and active. He had gone away for the weekend, and he was having sex with his girlfriend somewhere, and he looked at the exact time when he had an orgasm. And then when he got back home, he looked at the tape that had the marks from what the plant was experiencing. The exact same time, this plant was going crazy, right?
Wow.
Okay, so now, as a man, if you're worried about whether or not you can please a woman, and you're insecure about that, and you are thinking, oh God, what if I don't do it right? What if she doesn't, and what if I don't perform, and all that negativity? Well, what are you doing to her body and her mind and her psyche? Are you actually inhibiting her because that energy is being transferred, right?
Right. You're just putting all that negative emotion out there.
Yeah.
While you're, okay.
So what if a man is having problems with impotence or premature ejaculation or something, and a woman has all this fear and thinks, "Oh man, it's probably because I'm just not good enough and I can't help him and I don't know what to do and we're going to try it again and we're both going to be like embarrassed and all this." Well, if that's the energy you're sending, what chance does he have of, rising above that?
Right, right. Absolutely. And you know, growing up, that's really actually just made me think about something. It's like when you grow up as a man. I know, women have all these other things, but men specifically, boys in the playground, in the locker room,
Yeah.
it's all about size of your manhood, and it's all about how well you can perform. I mean, that's all you're thinking of. And
Yeah.
then, I think pornography goes a long way to show that, it's about you need to have 2 hour long marathon sessions every time. It's like the reality is that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. So where are you now? I mean, are you just enjoying the fruits of your labour from the last? What are you doing with yourself? Where are you going next?
Well, I took a little time off. My business is still active, although I downsized quite a bit when the economy was changing. So we're operating at a very different level right now. I have two really big projects. One of them is I want to change the way that we treat addiction, and I'm working on a documentary that is exposing the flawed system that we have of treating addiction. And the other thing is I have a project to end homelessness worldwide. Well, not worldwide. I'm going to start with this country, but it's to end panhandling and end homelessness. And everyone that I've showed it to, and every business person and organization is like, wow, this could really do it. This could definitely work.
How do you do that?
I'm working on that.
How do you do that? What's the basic premise of that?
It is. Well, I'm not sure how much of I want to talk about it to, just the general public yet.
Okay.
But basically, it's to totally change the energetic exchange from panhandling to them giving something instead of taking.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, there's a lot of different things that are involved in it, but it's changing that energy so no longer is anyone taking, and there's a business model, and it's a for-profit business model that that probably could work.
So at the minute,
we'll see.
You're raising funds for that, or that's something that you're launching. When is that going to happen?
Well, hopefully the test program. We're ready to do the test program. That'll happen in the next month or so, and we'll know if it works and if it converts, because it does end up being internet as well. So we'll find out. But yeah, if it works.
Well, if whoever's watching this video, obviously I'll put Wendy's URL up at the bottom. But if you're watching this in a few months or a while from now, and you're interested to know what happened with that project and what's going on, I'll keep this text updated so Wendy can give me the updated place where that information is happening. Okay, mm-hmm. So they're pretty big projects. I mean, they sound huge, and they also sound like you have no interest whether they make any money for you at all. This is you giving back, sounds to me.
It is for the most part, although I think everybody should look at being rewarded for their efforts, and that you should be in that loop of gratitude that you definitely accept that, success does bring wealth, and what you do with that wealth is up to you.
Right.
With these projects, if they didn't work financially and they still created good for other people, wonderful. Mm-hmm. But it is a for-profit business in both of them. But more than that, what I get really jazzed about now is when I'm putting other people in positions where they have the opportunity to create more wealth and to do something really good that gives them a lot of satisfaction and makes them feel like they're finding their purpose. So both of these projects have that potential to put a lot of people in business and being able to do something that they're really proud of.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Where's the best place to find your information? Just go to Wendi.com, or where do you normally put people?
Subscribe to the newsletter for sure, because on my site it's really tough to find things on there, unfortunately. but subscribe to the newsletter, and then I announce the stuff, whenever it's coming out.
Okay, and the newsletter, I think you just go to wendi.com. I'll put the URL up here.
Yeah.
And at the top,
just go to Wendi.com. You'll see them.
And there's, I think the top right, it says newsletter up there or something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I have another new project that I'm probably going to launch it tomorrow, and it's really cool. It's an online program that's 7 days long, and it's for post-traumatic stress disorder, and it is totally free for the veterans, the military, their families, totally free. I'm so excited about it. I can hardly stand it. And it's going to help them. This one mother just begged me to do this program because her son is having so much trouble. So I'm excited
And
about
that again is off Wendi.com. They can find
Yeah,
it.
you'll see it when it launches. There'll be a link for it there.
Okay, that's very cool. I still have friends. I was in the military for about 4 or 5 years in the British Army, and I have friends who are out in Afghanistan and Iraq, and so can I point them towards that as well? I've lost you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you just a bit there.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I just said, can I point my friends? I still have friends who are in the army. Can I point them towards that as well?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's yeah. And actually, we've been sending products to people who are enlisted. We send them free stuff all the time. All they have to do is ask, and we send them all these CDs and pay for postage and everything.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Wendi, I really appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to me and talk to my subscribers on YouTube. It's just been great to chat with you. The time has shot by. I mean, we're almost done 40 odd plus minutes, and I feel like I've
Wow.
been talking to you for 10 minutes. I mean, it's great. We've covered.
Yeah, I
We've
know. I
got
could talk to you forever. It was fun.
money, business, law of attraction, life, sex, all sorts of stuff.
Yep.
This is wonderful.
Living life with passion and getting some satisfaction along the way.
Right.
Yeah, good times. Thank you, Matt. I really appreciate you doing this.
Oh, well, you're welcome. And is there any lasting comment you want to leave before we finish up?
Well, I suppose it's, if you're just kind of living your life accidentally and just letting things happen and, feeling like, life has this agenda for you, I think you need to really look inside and decide that you do have a choice and that you can create what you want and start taking some steps in that direction. Start learning what you can do to change that and stop the pain and the misery and the suffering because there's really a lot better ways to live out there.
That's nice. Very nice. Wendi, it's been a pleasure. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll interview you again when you've got a couple of these projects up and running.
For sure. I'd love to. Yeah. Very
Thanks,
soon.
Wendi.
Okay, Matt.
Take
Have
care.
a fantastic day. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Bye.